Hi, I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and in this gourmet seafood segment, we're going to be featuring how to prepare Mediterranean swordfish. This is healthy and wonderful. This is an amazing dish. You know, swordfish. So many people do not know how to cook swordfish, and actually, you know what? Swordfish should be treated just like tuna. Medium rare, medium, but not well done. I love swordfish because it is clean, it is absolutely not fishy, and it really holds up well on the grill. But today, we're actually going to pan-sear it. A grill is a great application, though, for swordfish. And then so many varieties of things can be done with swordfish. So let's go to the Mediterranean just for a minute. We've got Kalamata olives, Greek olives. We've got fresh garlic, marinated artichoke hearts, fresh tomato, a little lemon, capers, salt, pepper, and olive oil. It doesn't get any better than this. The only thing I can say would be better is to maybe just have a wonderful little Greek salad as a side component. But let's just start with actually our sauce here. We're going to take a little bit of fresh garlic. Now in this particular case, I don't want to really mince my garlic. You know, a lot of recipes call for 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. You want this to be rough chopped. This has got to be earthy. And also with the artichoke hearts, maybe we're just going to cut them in quarters. So these I was bought at the store as half artichoke hearts. We'll take them into quarters. So we've got all the garlic, we've got the artichoke hearts, Kalamata olives. One big hint, they come pitted and non-pitted. This is something that you really want to pay attention and make sure that you get a pitted olive. Otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time trying to get the pit out. And then the Greek green olives. There is such thing as a Greek green olive. This is not a martini olive, okay? This is not a queen stuffed olive. There's an incredible difference between them, but I like to just have a little bit of those 2 olives together. They really marry well. I think it's a perfect marriage in that case. A little bit of scallions. I wanted onion. I didn't want to do a traditional red onion, so we're going to stay with the scallions. And remember, I'm only making 1 portion here. And then the tomato. Now, the tomato is key in this particular case with the Mediterranean dish. What I like to do is absolutely take the meat out of the tomato. So I simply just put the knife right around the rind, remove the meat and seeds, and now I've got what you call maybe like the tenderloin of the tomato. Just pure tomato, skin and meat. And this is absolutely great. Again, rough chop. This has got to be earthy. And a little bit of fresh capers. Okay? So there you have it. That's our component. Now, for the swordfish itself, swordfish is absolutely should be white. When you purchase swordfish, you shouldn't see too much of a bloodline. So if there's a lot of bloodline, you might want to tell the butcher to give you more of a center cut piece of swordfish. So, a little salt and pepper. And what I have already done is preheated some 100% natural pure olive oil. And I've got it to a smoking point because this is a pan-sear. We don't have any flour on here. We have nothing helping us but the absolute only moisture from the fish. So here you go. Fat away from you. Fish down. And you're going to let it sear on both sides. If you have to take away some of the fat, it's not a problem. Just find a dish that will not melt on you. And I just want to get it seared on one side. I'm not so worried about the color. Okay, once again, when I turn the fish, fat away from me, fish toward me. Now, after you make the first original turn, here's what you want to do with it, is you want to add all of these wonderful components that we just chopped and talked about. And you know what? It's not a rule of thumb. You could put some feta cheese in here at the end. You could put any other kind of Mediterranean flavor profile you want. But then I really like to finish with just a little bit of fresh lemon juice. And you're just going to let this go in the oven for about, maybe 10 minutes. Again, my rule of thumb is putting it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes, and that's 15 minutes per pound. Now this is a beautiful Mediterranean swordfish. It is so moist, so the temperature is absolutely perfect. I just love the way these flavors in this dish culminated together. Again, just a home run. I love all of the freshness, the look to it, the whole 9 yards. And here, specifically because of the olives and the brine in the olives, I would love to go with any kind of a California Merlot. I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and remember, happiness is cooking with flavor.
For these and other great recipe ideas, check out our website.
Hi, I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and in this gourmet seafood segment, I'm going to take you on a trip to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where I'm going to prepare for you sautéed snapper with a crawfish and sausage cream sauce. Here we are down in the bayou with this authentic dish. Now this dish normally would call for redfish, but I wanted to take it a step higher and give you some true Atlantic snapper. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to flour this snapper. I'm going to show you how to properly flour and saute a piece of fish. And then, very easy, I'm going to show you how to do a wonderful sausage Creole kind of cream sauce. So, starting with the fish, I like to skin my snapper on the back a little bit, but leaving majority of the skin on. Whenever you have a fish that has a tough skin, you might want to consider scoring the skin. This will prevent the fish from bellowing up during the cooking process. So, let's take the fish, turn it back to skin side down. We'll season it with a little sea salt and kosher salt mix here, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and I also like to actually dredge it in some seasoned flour. A lot of people wonder why sometimes dishes taste a little dull. Absolutely put some salt and pepper into your flour, and it's commonly the term called seasoned flour. Now, from here, this is a very important process. Once you go ahead and you actually flour your fish, it's so important to get off all of the excess flour. Otherwise, you're going to have clumps and you're going to have burn marks in the final fish presentation. It needs to all come off as much as you possibly can, so just give it a gentle pat like so. Okay, now, oil nice and hot, I'm going to say about 350 degrees, and we're doing a pan saute here today. So, sauteing is not pan frying. It's very, very little fat, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Okay, there you go. You hear the noise, there's a lot of things happening. This dish is what I truly call a home run. Now, a little bit of andouille sausage. You can have it in any shape you want. I like to have it in kind of a rough look. I have a little bit bigger pieces than normal. I also want to keep my sausage very similar to the size of my crawfish tails. So, you can get crawfish tails in your local seafood market, and they'll probably come frozen in a 1-pound bag. You can also get fresh crawfish, boil them yourself, and you can actually take them out of the shell. It's a lot easier just to buy them pre-shelled in a 1-pound bag in the freezer department. Now, I want to make sure I have a golden brown. We often call that in the southern Louisiana, they call that doré. So if you brown it just lightly, that is the French term for golden brown. And for the sauce, we will have the sausage, we'll have a little scallions, a little white wine, a little crawfish. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, here's another point. Once I sear the fish, I absolutely want to take the fish out of the pan and continue to make my pan sauce in the same pan the fish was to culminate all the flavors together. So, with that being said, I'm not as brown as I would like to be, so we'll let it go a little further. And the crawfish, I just want to go through them and I want to just double check that where they were pulled out of the shell, that I don't have any kind of the membranes and stuff from the head of the crawfish. So it's just take a look. You'll see there'll be very dark points at the end of the crawfish tail, and they're just not eye appealing. They're fine to eat, just not eye appealing whatsoever. Okay, so I've got equal sausage, equal crawfish. I'm pretty sure my snapper is right on the money here. Absolutely, there I am. That is a nice golden brown. Just where I'd like to have it. This one could have been a little more brown, but it's all right. The sauce is going to go over the whole final presentation. So let's go ahead and put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. I just want to cook these through while I'm making my pan sauce. So, 350 degrees. Now let's continue with the sauce. I've actually got a little bit of residual fat to the bottom. That's fine. No need to add any more. Let's start off with the crawfish tails. A little bit of the sausage. It can be andouille, it can be chorizo, it can be whatever you want. Note, chorizo, very spicy. So if you're going to put chorizo sausage in there, about half the amount to your crawfish. But if it's andouille, it can equal parts or more. We'll put in a little bit of the scallions. Just a touch of salt and pepper again, because I don't know if the sausage has been seasoned or the crawfish, being that it's a bought product. Now, let's let it just kind of culminate a little bit there, and then we're going to deglaze with a little bit of white wine. Oh yeah, that's nice. You can really smell the aroma happening. Things are happening now. I tell you, this is a home run. Okay, we're going to let the wine reduce just for about 3 or 4 minutes, or until what we call sec. We just want the wine to come down where there's almost very little residual wine sitting in the pan. Now that the wine is properly reduced, and this is what we call demi-sec, it's almost down to the bottom, nothing left, this is the time to go ahead and add the heavy cream. Now, let the cream reduce by about half. You definitely want to have some sauce. You don't want it to be totally reduced. Now, having added the cream, I have now unbalanced my salt and pepper level, so I'd like to just put a little more salt and pepper because I have added a neutral cream. Okay, we're going to let this sauce finish, and then we're going to go ahead and pour it on the fish as soon as it comes out of the oven. Now we're going to take the fish out of the oven, 350 degrees. Oh, it's just absolutely cooked perfect. You can see the moisture coming right out of the fish. And we just want to plate this up now with our reduced sauce. You see the beautiful orange color. This is a home run. So, we'll put the snapper on the plate. We'll take a little bit of the sauce here with the sausage and the crayfish. Oh, the aroma is beautiful. Put a little bit of the sauce on the plate. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, the only thing I can say that would be better would be enjoy this dish with a nice Pinot Grigio. I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and remember, happiness is cooking with flavor.
For these and other great recipe ideas, check out our website.
Hi, I'm Chef Andrew Sells, and in this gourmet seafood cooking segment, we're going to be featuring how to prepare lemon basil shrimp on a skewer. This dish, I feel, is a home run. It can be done indoors, outdoors, year-round, and it's very, very healthy. We see a lot of healthy recipes approaching the marketplace nowadays, and so simply enough, fresh basil, lemon, salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. Easy to prepare, easy cleanup, and very healthy. But first, let's just start with the marinade. I like to take fresh basil leaves, and we do a term called chiffonade, and I actually roll them up into a little roll, and then we're just going to julienne them very thin, just like so. Now, if you want to have them a little more smaller pieced, what you can do is take your basil and just turn the whole segment the other way, and then go ahead and chop it. You'd never, ever, ever really want to take basil and rough chop it because it will bruise and turn brown. This is a vibrant, healthy dish. The colors really should showcase themselves. So we take a little bit of basil, a little bit of fresh lemon juice. Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of cracked black pepper. Oh, the sea salt that I always tell you about. I love the sea salt. And a little bit of olive oil. And that's all there is to it. It's all in the taste of the shrimp. Things like sea bass, shrimp, lobster have such a natural flavor. Let the flavors showcase themselves. So, let's go on with the skewers. I like to keep the tail on with the skewers. And I actually like to come through the back and then just turn the shrimp and skewer it on. But the presentation part is very nice when we go the opposite way each time with the shrimp. So now, head end, tail end. Doing the same thing again now the opposite way, tail to head, until you get a skewer the size that you feel you'd like to have. At this point, I've already prepared a couple other skewers, so now what we want to do is just put them into some kind of a dish, casserole dish, it doesn't matter, and I'd like you to marinate them for at least 2 hours. But just remember, the more citrus you have, what's going to happen is burning the seafood. So no more than 2 hours, or your seafood's going to end up to be a bit mealy in the cooking process. So from here, we go ahead, we're going to marinate it for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then we'll sear it off. Once your oil is hot, you gently want to sear off the skewers. So one at a time,